Hello Aries, and welcome to your April forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. This is going to help you navigate all of the energy and the opportunities coming through over the next 6 to 8 weeks. It's good to see everyone. A reminder, you can always use this for sun, rising, and moon sign, and in fact we'll go into a little bit more detail into all of those categories later in this particular reading. Let's begin first and foremost with channeled messages, and there's one overarching theme that I saw, maybe two. The first theme was just change, but specifically changing role or focus or direction. And so let's dig into these. So doors were opening and closing in my dreams. And there's always a feeling when you come to the close of one journey, to the end of something that you've been working on, there's this feeling of fear, anxiety, lament, just sort of like even disbelief sometimes. Is this really, am I ready to take the next step? Invariably, yes, you are. I just want to validate basically that feeling sometimes of wanting to hold on for one extra moment. What I see right now is a lot of other doors opening. So for those of you that may have met even a form of rejection or a roadblock, know this too. That is helping you find something bigger, better, brighter. This is part of the reason that I chose this particular death card, because every end offers a portal of opportunity for new things. So a dead end or stagnation is a form of communication. It's the universe saying, you've done all that you can here. You're free to move on. You're free to explore. So for some of you, the end is a natural end, like graduation, for instance. For some of you, it could be that feeling of being stuck. And for others, there's an epiphany that you just want something more. All of these things will require the release of something. And this is a beautiful segue into the next particular message, which was reinvention. So that the way that this basically came across in dreams was a book that was open, but the pages were blank. And then I also saw a resume that had areas on it that also needed to be filled in. For some of you, this could just be about highlighting things that maybe you'd forgotten or things that you want to do. There's also a planning piece to this, which is rather than doing the same old, you're reimagining yourself in a new role. For some of you, that means the missing pieces may be experience that you need to gather. For some of you, that blank page could mean that you're going to enter into something without any sort of preconceived notions. You're just going to embrace the possibilities. And what we see here is someone letting go and feeling really, really free. So these two go together. They're death and rebirth, basically, these two cards. So literally death, but judgment is that sort of step afterwards. Because normally in the traditional deck, you would see souls rising from the grave and a beautiful angel calling them into the next chapter. So this whole month is about what's the next chapter going to be for you. And I'm going to help you today explore what you can let go of, what's ripe for the picking around you, like the Nine of Pentacles, the things you've worked hard on, and now you can reap the benefits. And also what might be on the horizon, new opportunities, all the aces that might be presenting themselves. I can't wait to see what's coming through. We're going to use the same deck that I was featuring in the slides, the Lightseers deck. So let's give the cards a shuffle. Again, a reminder, you can use this for your sun, rising, and moon sign. I'm going to remain quiet as I pull all the cards, and then we'll take it one by one and see all of the opportunities. Look at the big changes that we see here. Change for the better. Two of Cups, Six of Cups, the World, really great stuff. Yes, a little bit that some of you are transitioning through, but I can already see it's headed in the right direction. All right. Really cool stuff coming through in wealth here with something that has yet to reveal itself and a bridge connecting right here with the Six of Swords. Movement and change. I love it when we get that immediate synchronicity and payoff from channeled messages. Lots of themes of love and loving that inner child, possibly doing some reparation with family and extended family. Let's go ahead and get straight into the catalyst. It's all connected this month. So we have the inner child card coming through in the reverse state. As you can see here, catalyst energy allows you to basically spark a necessary change or movement in your life. And this particular month, you're being asked to go inward, to look at things perhaps that you haven't had a chance to look at before, or to heal, or to deal with until this moment in time. I love that we have this beautiful portal here, and that's basically, for some of you, what the change moment that we talked about earlier is providing. I think it's helpful to revisit the death card that we saw here for the doors opening and closing, and then look at this beautiful portal here, because it connects nicely with what we see at the center of that shroud on death. Something beautiful, something new, same color, a new day. And as I'm looking at this, what Spirit reminded me is that when we're children or young adults, we have sometimes these moments of clarity where we think to ourselves, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to live my life this way. You might be looking at parents, grandparents, teachers, or anyone in your life that you look up to. When they make a mistake, when they act foolish, or when they're closed-minded, you think to yourself, I'll show them, I'll do something different. This inner child's coming back saying, don't forget about your promise. Live your life authentically, uniquely, and really connecting to that higher self, that higher knowledge with more integrity. That's actually what I'm seeing here. So keep that promise that you had to that inner child. And we see things coming full circle here. This is also an inner child card. This is your outcome. But look at this. This is the new version of you connecting with that inner child, keeping the promise, maybe even doing better than that inner child ever thought. Fool energy is present in all of these images because the Fool always has that beautiful dog with it, keeping it sort of on track too. The function of this dog is to remind the Fool, hey, watch where you're going. It's also a sign of loyalty, and he doesn't need much. He just needs a couple things here. He's embracing that rose that we also see in the death card, and he has his loyal friend there. So for some of you, this is also a reminder of the reliance on self. That dog also represents being loyal and true to yourself too. So lots of messages to unpack there. The main thing here is this is a promise kept. You're going to go back and do something you always wanted to or always set out to do. This is the month to see it to fruition. Some of you might also be experiencing a birth because we have two cards that show children. There may also be a return of someone from the past, a best friend, an old love, an old flame, and now is a chance to mend bridges with them because we see the bridge card coming through as well. Six of Swords, which can represent a lot of distance traveled. So anyway, we'll talk more about that in a second, but this is a powerful month already just from the catalyst. All right, let's get to your center card, and it's no exception. You have three of the best love cards. 10 of Cups, 2 of Cups, 6 of Cups. I don't know if I can emphasize how amazing those are when it comes to relationships. This is just what you see here. It is the family that we all seek, whether it's getting married or best friends or the chosen family when we're growing up and we kind of connect with everyone. It's love, it's harmony, it's what we all seek on some levels. We have someone coming in offering love, friendship, or an opportunity, and then we have that camaraderie here. Let's talk about this first and foremost. Second only to the lovers itself, the 10 of Cups is super magnetic. What it shows is you have the ability to pull people in. So in this particular deck, we see this rainbow, which also has on it musical notes and figures right up here. And then again, all the cups kind of flying in. So you're surrounded by love, by opportunity, and you're also able to pull it in. If it's absent, this is the month to make a significant change or shift when it comes to friendship, love, and networking. And many of you have done the work. Sometimes the first card shows me that you haven't done the work. You've done the work. I even look in the deep past here and we have the Chariot. It's going in the right direction. So I would just say keep up with what you've been doing. I see some good news on the horizon because this is good news incoming. It's also showing that you reap what you sow. So when you continue to put your best foot forward, when you lead with love and compassion, when you treat others in the same format and nature that you would want to be treated yourself, it comes back. you reap what you sow. For some of you, new love is coming through. Good news, a new job. The necessary change that we saw, it's around you. It feels like it might have already happened. The World and the Six of Swords, other cards that show death and rebirth. This is the ultimate, the final card on the major arcana. This is one of basically moving on. There's a little bit of work to do, but it's so worth it. The payoff is so good this month. I'm going to help you with these two swords moments, but one thing at a time here. Here's your superpower this month. It's your ability to innovate. We talked about that when I was showing you the Reimagine card. It's also your ability to connect with your boss energy. Queen of Wands is second only to Emperor and Empress energy. She's really, really strong. Even if it's just kind of like managing your own life, know this, you can do it. Maybe it's your first time in a while where you might be having to lean on yourself, but you've got it. What I like here too is she's really kind of enjoying this passion or igniting this spark. And it is more like, it's like a magician, right? And so is the passion there, Aries? If the passion's present, possibilities are abundant. They're all over the place. If the passion is absent, it's harder for the Queen of Wands to light the fire. But what she can do is imagine past the block. So if you just are feeling that moment of this isn't it, that's okay. Close your eyes, connect to the inner child and think, what creates fun, joy, and passion in my life? And the boss will come through and say, okay, let's do it. Let's make it happen. If not now, then when? She is capable of doing, she would be the boss that I would want managing my project. She's like the best executive producer you could ever ask for. So be the executive producer of your own life, make some change happen. You're going to land on your feet. Look at the black cat there. That is instinct. That is also the ability to come back after a setback and just say, I'm still standing. You know what? I haven't, this isn't the final show. This isn't the final act. There's more to see. All right. So innovation, leadership, and I also see resilience coming through with this. Let's look at your deep past. Many of you have worked hard to steer the ship in a different direction. This represents movement, change, control, management, but there is also this sort of constant and steady being at the wheel. And for many of you, you've been at the wheel for a while. It's worth it. Remember, there's only a few cards with wheels on it. If you keep moving in this direction and keep driving, the Wheel of Fortune is next. See something through to the finish line. I like that this guy's actually on top of the chariot getting a lay for the land. I love the wild stallions in front, but it is about basically continuing the momentum. So as long as you're doing that, I feel pretty good. Like this is in the deep past, so keep doing what you're doing. Now we get to the two challenging cards here. There's probably three that are challenging. Swords, no surprise, but we'll talk about them. The first one is something has come to your attention. You may wish you could unhear or unsee it, but you cannot. The Two of Swords is like Pandora's box, especially when it's reversed. Upright, it's sort of like, where do I go? What do I do? Reversed, it's saying, oh, that isn't what I expected. This person showed up in a way that I didn't anticipate. This contract ended up being something I didn't imagine. Now I have to make a decision based on this newfound information. It's inconvenient, possibly, it's uncomfortable, but it's a blessing. So something came to pass that now you can't put back underneath the rug. And that's all this is. It's also saying if there's something going on in your life, this could be in your body, this could be in the environment, and it's annoying you, you also can't stop paying attention to it. So you have to seek expertise, advice, or some sort of a resolution. So it's dealing with the necessary. Even when you wish it would go away, it's still there. I have some good news though. In the crowning position, we have one of the most unique 10 of Swords in any deck because it basically shows the other side of the pain, the discomfort, or whatever you had to deal with right here. And this is what this month is all about. So instead of seeing a person lying down with a bunch of swords and blood and all of that, we actually see the morning after that happens. It's like there was something painful, there was a full stop or end of a sentence moment, and now it's the next phase. Something has come to pass. But this person is stronger, wiser, and she bounced back. That wasn't the end. It was just more of a semicolon than a full stop. So the other thing that I would say with this is it can represent not taking the bait. We recently got this exact card in a daily 1-minute card pull that I do. And what I reminded people here is the wisdom that happens when maybe in the past you put your foot in your mouth and you said something you wish you wouldn't have. You won't do that again. This month, if something comes up and you're like, that person is just trying to get me to say or do something that I'm going to regret, you take a step back and you move in a different direction. She's wiser and she's ready to just see something better. And then if people are throwing at you sort of just, criticism that's not constructive, gossip, noise, she's tuning out the noise. This is also something that you can do to rise above, okay? That will then lead you into the beautiful energy of the world. And again, we're in the near future here. So this, moving on, paying attention to something, moving on, not taking the bait, also seeing a necessary moment of discomfort as something that you needed to spark that sort of, it's almost like a reflex, ouch, or, when you taste something that's sour, you don't keep eating it, you spit it out. So this particular card is saying, I'm ready to move, even if that means I have to change direction, because this world card was reversed. When reversed, it can represent something that comes through unexpectedly, rapidly, inconveniently, sort of timed, but nonetheless, it's there. So when opportunity knocks, you answer. We're talking about doors shutting and closing. So this is a month when it's kind of like, just embrace it, even if it's uncomfortable. I can think back to 2 situations in my own life where I had to react quickly. One was like a dream job, and I was in a different state, and I had to fly here to California to take the interview. And initially I was like, well, maybe I can come later this week. And the person said, maybe you can come Monday. It was like a Friday that we were talking. And I said, I'll make it happen. There are moments where you just realize I'm getting the hint and the opportunity of a lifetime. Let's do it. Same thing happened when I had a chance for like a media opportunity too. And it was this same sort of thing. It was a Wednesday and I had to be ready for something to happen on a Saturday. And I wasn't ready, but I found a way to be ready. So sometimes you just make it work. And this is a time to make it work, folks, okay? It's worth this, whatever this is. By the way, this is a card of expansion. So for some of you, you could be growing your business. You could be moving like I just talked about. You could be asked to step outside of a comfort zone and take on more responsibility or try something that you'd never imagine yourself doing. She's walking through that portal and saying, why not? She's almost becoming the Fool card, because the Fool, if we look at it here again on the tin of this deck, is moving forward. These are just 2 different phases. So she's like, all right, let's give it a shot. And that is the next card after this. It resets, you rinse and repeat, and you get back to the Fool after the World. So anyway, that's what's presenting itself. Let's look at you this month and see where you're at. The powerful piece of Page of Swords is the ability to speak something into existence. I can, I will, I am. You're going to make it happen. The flip side is also sometimes speaking out there into the world something that is self-deprecating, or you're speaking a pattern into existence that you no longer need. Saying something, for instance, like that you have bad luck with, insert the blank. It could be money, it could be relationships, whatever. Or it always takes time for this to come to pass. So instead you can say, I'm making changes here. I'm ready to see a shift. I'm a new person. You're going to have a mantra kind of going through your head. But when you talk to people, imagine that you were sitting with yourself at a table. It was like a first date with yourself. And there are 2 versions. One saying all of the stuff that's going wrong. One that is speaking from a place of optimism, opportunity, and the horizon. I'm looking for this. I'm working on this. I can't wait for this to happen. That's a lot more fun to be with than the one that has the cloud over their head. So keep that sunny outlook and be as affirmative and positive in your speech about yourself and others as you can be. This is also a card of making necessary changes. You're allowed to change your mind. You're allowed to change direction. This is basically putting that pen to paper and saying, this is how I'm going to do it. There was an empty book. She's holding a book, folks. There was pages that had yet to be written on. And so any of the Swords cards reversed can be like a pen or a pencil. She's going through and reimagining, rewriting, editing, maybe writing for the first time something. So speak from an affirmative space, write from affirmative space, put it into a format that others can consume, and perhaps something really amazing could come from that. Okay? Before we move on to the environment, one last note on this. She's got a lot going on here. When the card is reversed, it's saying, take something off your plate. She's reading, she's carrying the light bulbs, she's walking across this sword, there's a bird flying around her head. Somehow she's keeping it all together, but it's a lot. I would say take a moment to stop and look around. She's kind of just made it through by, the skin of her teeth, but I would say there's definitely room here to be pickier, to say no, and to focus. And that is my last comment on that. Okay, let's look at your environment. We have 6 of Swords. So around you, there could be a lot of movement. There could be a revolving door, because we're talking about doors opening and closing. The revolving door could be a change of employment or boss or environment. So something around you has shifted. And even if you stay still, things are moving around you. So a job, there could be a merger. In a relationship, there could be, someone even moving in, like extended family, or there could be movement around the two of you, maybe even something like construction. I just see either you're moving or things are changing around you. And the important thing for you to do is to, like I said here, kind of take a look around so that you're able to assess opportunities and potential pitfalls and decide if you want to stay or go. This card is squarely between there are 3 birds behind, 3 birds in front. She's in the middle. So she's still in the deciding phase. What's next? So really be intentional about the next step of movement in your life, and that's going to offer up some more power and opportunity for you. This can just be a card of mourning. I mentioned that some of you may have gone through something challenging. This could be loss. This could be a disappointment, but this is moving on and seeing again the opportunities that presented themselves in the card just two before that. So moving forward, moving in a new direction and ostensibly in the right direction, but needing to be present and really needing to decide what you're going to do about some of the change and movement around you. Okay? Some of you might simply be taking a trip. And this card is saying it's a good time. Even with all the changes, feels like it might be exactly what you need to get some clarity, to basically get some distance from whatever it was that you were working on here. And then it helps you see this a little bit more clearly. You might also be moving for this. I was talking about moving for work or moving for, drumroll, love. All right, let's look at this. Definitely this month, without a shadow of a doubt, if you're looking for love and romance, it's an emphatic yes. This is the wish, this is the fulfillment, but there's some disbelief because the cards are reversed. Let's talk about it. Hopes, fears, and opportunity. 2 of Cups in reverse. An offer could be put on the table. This could be work. This could also be love. There's something about it that you didn't expect. Maybe some of you weren't ready and maybe didn't want it, but evaluate, is it fear, inconvenience, or truly just your own desire not to want to connect with this opportunity that is causing that sort of like taking a step back? Are you afraid also, some of you may be, to lean on someone or ask for help? Don't be if you are, because the 2 of Cups invariably is someone that is ready to see you eye to eye, embrace you like we see in this card, and really help you through whatever the next part of the journey is. One thing that is important is that whatever it is that you give is reciprocated, and this card is really about making sure that there's give and there's take, and that's all I have to say about that. I do get also the vibe of friendship here. This does not have to be romantic. So some of you may be just settling in somewhere because this is the environment. You could also be like on the heels of moving. And then first day at the new job or first day moving into the house, you meet someone new. And you just might think, how could I have met someone already? But it could be your new best friend. And I definitely get that here with the outcome card. 6 of Cups does not have to be romantic. It can be platonic. And it can be, again, maybe even reconnecting, or what's the best word for this if you're estranged, but like mending the bridges with someone that you have had a falling out with. This is a month to clear the air and to make things better if you'd like. This is also, as we talked about earlier, the inner child. Both of the inner child cards were reversed. So this is a chance to go back and heal some wounds from the past. And you can look and think, wow, look at how far I've come or we've come. And you're going to be able to basically have this big moment of growth. if you meet somebody new, we're going to go into love in just a few moments here, but if you meet someone new, I get that this could open up a whole new world for you too. Could be someone from a different part of the world. Some of you are kind of on a rebound, but this is like best friend, love, and commitment. It's good stuff. Even with a couple reversals, I think the biggest part is just how quickly some of these changes are happening. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We're going to start first with the health card, and health is your mind, body, and spirit. We actually got the tiger here. The tiger card we could loosely connect to strength, which is good. The strength card would normally show like a lion and a woman on it, but whenever I get one of the big cats, it's very closely connected with that. So what this is basically saying this month is to focus on physical fitness and health, because any of these big cat cards represent that, the ability to be as strong as possible. And for many of you that work really hard or help a lot of other people, or if you're a parent or just haven't prioritized it, that's one thing that's coming through. This is also a card of speed, speedy movement, speedy recovery, speedy progress, landing on your feet. We've actually have another cat, a small cat here. And this cat has 9 lives. So any sort of challenge that you might be facing, you can see it through, and you can probably get through this with more ease than you may have imagined. Okay, so I like all of that. I also think of like the tiger's eye for whatever reason that's coming through. And so especially with the 2 of Swords, this would be a time to pay attention if you need new glasses or if there's anything going on with vision, obviously to get that looked at. Standard disclaimer applies here. I'm going to be looking at the energy of cards. You'll always lean on a professional if you need it. Let's go ahead now and see what the cards are offering up when it comes to energy. The biggest card that just jumped off the spread to me was the 10 of Swords. This is a moment of healing. Sometimes it's chronic pain or pressure in your body. A couple times a month, sometimes every week if I need to, I will get a chiropractic adjustment because I do a lot of sitting here, and sometimes that can cause compression. So I take care of myself that way. I know when to go because I feel the pain. So if you feel pain, obviously figure out who you're going to talk to and how you're going to work on that. But what we see here is one of the answers, which is to get out and stand and walk. So for some of us, many of us, I should say, nowadays that end up sitting a lot at computers, it compresses that spine, and it's necessary to stretch and to exercise. You'll have to work at your own pace and with your own sort of experts in your life to figure out what works, but that's that. I like that we have someone on the other side of the 10 of Swords. So again, if you're going through something where it is recurring or kind of chronic, what we see here is hopefully things plateauing. But you have to what? Heed the call and pay attention. This is just listening to things before they exacerbate or get to that point. So do that, and then that's a good thing. Some of you decided to move, and you moved because you didn't like where you were. This move could be a move from a job or a relationship that felt a little bit toxic, or a place where you weren't appreciated, and you're like, I'm done with that. Good for you. This is a move for the better. So I see a necessary change that some of you made because of emotional stress, because the 10 of Swords doesn't have to just be physical, it can also be emotional. There's a lot of movement and healing going on with relationships. Inner child, your own sort of energy, and also for many of you, maybe reconciliation, that was the word. Reconciling, with someone that you were estranged with. So there's definitely a chance for that kind of healing if you want it. It feels like that would benefit from couples therapy. I'm way ahead, and I know that that's coming when we look at health, wealth, love. Patience is the message in relationships, so that kind of tracks, but more when we get into relationships in a few moments. I think, again, many of you just have too much on your plate. Take some of that off. You're overdue for a vacation trip or just a reprieve of some sort. Please do that. Spend some time with friends, with family, and with loved ones, of course, as well. Most of it's pretty manageable this month, actually. So that is everything for health. Let's go ahead and move on to wealth. You got 2 cards here, and they were really cool. They were synchronistic. So we have the bridge and the unseen. So the bridge connects really nicely with this, because this is in your environment. So what we see for some of you is a decision to travel or move. This is also connected with that, for your own health or happiness. And for some of you, this is just a necessary shift or recalibration, and it's a good thing based on what I'm seeing here. There's something new coming in. If we look at this card really, really close, it's hard to see what the pattern is. As you back up, it's clear that it's kind of like our third eye coming through. What this is showing you is that the universe has some surprises up its sleeve for you. Even for me as your reader, and you in your own life, turning your third eye towards the horizon, not everything's going to come into focus. A lot of other things are happening. Other people have free will that could change things. But the big reason that sometimes there's a happy surprise on the horizon is the universe doesn't want you to get in the way of something amazing. And sometimes we would freak out in our head if we knew what was ahead of us. But when we just land in it, it works. And then we're like, I don't know how I did it, but I did it. So I get that you might just be having this really cool moment. And all you have to do is walk across that bridge. And then you may not see yourself being able to do this, or maybe we're like, how did this happen? It's just because you've done the work. And it's cool when a synchronicity or a good surprise is on the horizon. And I say it's good because the World and the Six of Cups are great cards. So it could be you ending up doing something bigger, better than you thought that you could. Bigger, better, brighter, as we talked about. Or it could just be love and friendship and support coming through louder than you ever imagined it could, and in more forms than you could have imagined. So I see success, but a different kind. This isn't about money. It's about you going beyond expectations, and I see a lot of support. And if you feel unseen, and that is this, folks, the Two of Swords, underappreciated, or like you're blending in, not for long, not for long. If you're willing to kind of make the necessary moves and move with the energy of change, because this is the past. I feel like that song, and the rest is yet unwritten. What is it? Natasha Bedingfield. She has that great song. So just like her, you're writing the next page. Take it one step and one day at a time. All right, let's take a look at some other messages here with respect to wealth. So what I just mentioned here is really important. You should be seen and appreciated for all that you have to offer, who you are, etc. If not, it's time to make a necessary move. So let's begin the reading with those that are working. Then we'll look at those that are job seeking, and then either retired or students at the end. So for those that are working, this is the old you. The new you is 10 of Cups, 2 of Cups, 6 of Cups. If you're not already networking and you're unhappy, please network, talk to people. Friends, family, and trusted coworkers. You always want to be mindful of that. Maybe previous coworkers at other companies, because I see a major door opening up. You make it happen, though. It's not something that will necessarily come to you. I think that this is a chance for those that are employed but unhappy. Let's put it that way. You can open up something new, but it will require a move. It's not in the same company, and it may not be in the same place. So you might have to make a necessary move for that, but there's a happy outcome there, okay? So you will be seen, but we have travel, or movement, or something bigger. Definitely it's not the same role either. So all of that's auspicious. So if you're frustrated, tune into the next piece, which is going to be job seeking. For those that are wanting to stay where you're at and are fairly happy because you like the group of people that you're with, your chance to move up is still there. We have a Queen of Wands energy, but it does require possibly a transfer to a different office or division or country, state, or province. So it might be that kind of move, like a globalization thing. So if you're in one country, you move across to another one or something like that. This is also just saying that you're going to reach an apex moment where you kind of get to the top of something. So I see a goal and a sort of, a karmic lesson being finished. So once that happens, you get a chance. I mentioned here, are you going to stay or go? It feels like many of you are just at this moment where you could actually do it on your own now if you wanted to as well. There are some things at this place of work that are interesting. Not everything is being listened to. It feels like there are some people that are also, like this can be attrition or low morale. So if that doesn't improve, things could naturally come to a close at some of these places anyway, because it's hard to keep the talent there. The good news for you is in the long run, wherever you end up, whether you stay or whether you go, you are very loved. And I believe that connection of people will help see you through to the next thing. So I do think for some of you, there may be a 1 or 2 year cycle where maybe somewhere where you're at, that place may merge or become something different. And then again, you get a chance to decide what's next. Big moves, big expansion. If you're not growing, then you should be going wherever you're at. And I'll leave it at that. There's nothing immediate here because to worry about, because most of the cards are pleasant. I feel like if something's happened, it's happened. This is in the crowning position. This is recent past. So nothing to fear, but just more like I want you to look out over the next 21 to 24 months, like 2 years, and think about what your long-term goals are and really make sure that you're doing a lot to keep that professional network intact. And if there is a chance to transfer a move, I would say take it now. It looks good and it will yield a happier result. Okay? That's it for those that are working. Definitely some room for expansion. Yes, you can reach the next level, but the string attached is the sort of like travel piece to this. Okay? Let's go ahead now and change over to those that are looking for work. I want to revisit this because it's so nicely connected to what I talked about in the meditated piece and the dream piece, which was that there's something about your current approach, whether it's your website, your CV, etc., that could be enhanced. And maybe some of it is because you've been holding back. So make sure that you're putting your best information forward. For some of you, you might also be ready to fill in the missing pieces, the blanks, because I mentioned that the sky is the limit, but you might need some certification training, or maybe the next job that you take is going to fill some sort of gap that didn't exist there so that the job after that is going to be the world here. But all of that being said, I don't even know if you have to wait that long. There could be a place where you go right now where the training is included. Several jobs out there will actually, as long as you stay there more than a year, they'll help pay for training. So maybe you can find the best of both worlds, which is, you're going to go to a place where they see the potential, they're willing to pay and train you as long as you stick around for a year or two and give them a return on that good faith offer. So that's one thing that I'm picking up on. Even though we don't have the Eight of Pentacles, we have enough other sort of pieces of the puzzle that I can see that. Some of you may want to kind of like engage in a job that travels a part of it. So like if you wanted to be a pilot or a flight attendant or a travel agent or even a tour guide, all of these things would definitely connect with World and Six of Swords. Some of you want to work in a company that's more global. So maybe you've done a lot of things where, it's been a local sort of job, but you're like, I really am interested in how things affect the world at large. Well, here you go. This can be global, it can be political, it can be something where you're publishing and wanting to broadcast or disseminate a product or service. These are two of the biggest sort of globalized cards, or globalization cards, I should say, that I could get. So I just want to kind of put that out there. Your words and also your actions are being seen on a larger scale. But for some of you, you might write and publish something, and that's exciting as well. And then helping people, that's the other thing. This is someone who's been through a moment, been through some pain. This is someone who wants to help others, especially youth, heal. So healing the inner child, helping people be seen in a way that they haven't been, or helped that they haven't been before. So teaching, nursing, any sort of thing where you might be helping that next generation, that's a part of that as well. How do you find the job? Hello, it's networking for sure. 10 of Cups, 2 of Cups, 6 of Cups. It's who you know, not just what you know. And in some cases, it's more who you know than what you know. So make sure that you're doing your best to reach out to people that you already have as friends that might be connected to some of these new places that you want to work. And go way outside of your traditional boundaries when it comes to how far you'd be willing to move, especially for a job. Okay, and I think that's everything here. Don't let a previous setback get in the way. This is about bouncing back this month, okay? And that's everything for job seekers. One last thing, I always get questions, well, what about those that are self-employed? You've got what it takes, for sure. The only thing that's missing from this whole spread is the money. Where are the pentacles, right? So I would say make sure that you get enough resources in place if you're ready for this. And if not, figure out how long it's going to take or where you're going to go to get the funding. That's all All right. And if you did want to get funding, there's a lot of people that are interested in supporting you. So lean on that first so that you're not basically having to use your own money for everything. For those of you that are retired, let's go back to this. First of all, there's still a lot of the world to be seen. If there's something on your bucket list, for each of you, this is going to be something that's unique. But this is about making sure that you're taking time to see and experience and really immerse yourself in that. The bridge is showing you your ability to bridge generational gaps, to also travel, to also overcome anything. This can be a bridge over troubled water. You have this moment now where it feels like not only are you moving in the right direction, but you've really earned it. Some of you have come through a challenging situation. This could be a breakup, a death, a loss, something even internally that you didn't anticipate that you had to go through, but you did and you survived it. And now you have this sort of new look or this new outlook, which is, if I got through that, I really want to make sure that every single day, every moment matters. Whether you are young or old and anywhere in between, that's so important. Life is finite, so enjoy and embrace it. And the focus this month really is on the people that you know. It doesn't mean that you have to put this into love, though we'll be looking at that in the very next section here. But you can definitely deepen existing relationships, mend those that are broken, find new friendships, and meet like-minded individuals through travel and through putting yourself out there. Great time to read new books, to write a memoir, to listen to a podcast, expand your consciousness. It's just a good month overall. The pain is in the past, so let's focus on the possibilities. One last thing before we move into love, let's take a look at students. Students, it really is about experiences. The 10 of Cups, I actually think this is why I put the two together. It's the experience day to day, 10 of Cups, 2 of Cups, and 6 of Cups. If you're choosing a school, if you're choosing a major, if you're choosing a place to study or to work or to live, it's about how that's going to enhance your experience on the planet. So I actually think there's overlap between that and also retired people, but it's because you're looking more at the meat of what you're doing than, like once you're out in the work world, there's a lot of other things that are coming into the sort of periphery. So students and retired people, what is the experience giving to you? If you like it, stay. If you don't, you can navigate, you can make a necessary change. How are you impacting the people around you, and how do you feel about the environment that you're in? That's the most important thing. We really want 10 of Cups, not 10 of Swords. So work towards that harmony and that sense of really being in a group, in a place where you feel like you're appreciated, you're seen, and you're making an impact. Okay, now let's take a look at love. For love, we have patience. I accept everything that happens in divine order. Some of you are wishing things would slow down or speed up, and that can be part of it, but this could just be your patience being tried with the people that you love the most. So let's break this down. Invariably, I see really, really good things, especially towards the future state when we're looking at relationships, but there are some challenges. So that's going to hit the first category the most. So we're going to look at those that are in an existing relationship already. For some of you, you are right on the heels of an argument. Something happened. You weren't listening, or you forgot something, or you were or your partner felt like they were being ignored, and then some words were spilled. There is a chance for a happy outcome here, particularly because we have a lot of love here, and we have a card here of friendship. Let's not make a mountain out of a molehill if it was something small. For some of you, it wasn't that it was small, it's that it was the straw that broke the camel's back. So I see two very different scenarios. I'm reading a wide audience here, so I'm going to interpret it in as many ways as I can. But one particular thread is that there were some existing problems that were exacerbated, and that was just it. For those of you that have for a long time been thinking it's time, I see that 10 of Swords, 6 of Swords, 2 of Swords. The good news, even for those of you that might be exiting a relationship, is that we have amicable, friendly sort of exit here with 2 of Cups and 6 of Cups. For some of you, you may even have to remain friendly because of children, or just because you want to do that and make life happier, or you have shared friends and you're like, let's just make this work. So if that's happening, you're okay. For the healthy relationships that want to kind of stick out whatever's going on here, like I said, let's not make it bigger than it needs to be. It's important to maybe take a little bit of time and distance, but then come back and say, I want to work this out with you. You know, you're my best friend. I love you. Let's figure out how to deal with whatever this is. And it does feel like it's very manageable, as long as this hasn't been something that has happened cyclically. So there's some of you where it's like enough is enough, and I totally respect that. There's some of you where it was just an argument and you're going to get through it, okay? The one thing that you want to avoid is, silence. Because the Six of Swords, much like the Four of Swords, can be radio silence. And that's the one thing that will drive me crazy sometimes in a relationship, is if someone just stops talking to you altogether. Because usually the narrative in your head is worse than whatever it really was, but keep the lines of communication open. That's my advice on that. Okay? That is one of the threads here. For some of you, there is an expansion coming through because we have a big change. We have children, possibly twins, but at least a child coming through for some of you that have just gotten pregnant or have just given birth to a child. And for some of you, it was a really hard process. Adoption, birthing, surrogacy. Even when it's natural and the traditional sort of method, it's still really, really hard on the body, and it's still a big adjustment. So give yourself time and space. And if it finally happened after, again, a period of maybe, you almost adopted a child and then got rejected, it took a few passes and finally you landed, or if it's IVF and there were multiple times that you went through it, finally it's landing. That's what I'm getting, some difficulty, a difficult birth, maybe even a history where there was a miscarriage, but finally something's coming through here and it's cause for celebration. Please celebrate if you've been through all of that. And I can definitely see that on the horizon. The last piece, there's a lot coming through for relationships, but it's just control issues. So pick and choose your battles wisely, okay? Lots of different threads here, but I'm reading for a wide audience. For those of you that are looking for love, it's a little bit easier. First of all, you've got to do some inner healing. Thankfully, we know exactly where that's at. It's the inner child. Also, for some of you, it's parental. So you might be deciding, again, if there's some estrangement, either reconciliation or getting some counseling to deal with it, so that you can move on and you're not repeating cycles of parents in future relationships. New love is coming in the form of someone that you don't know. They may come from friend, family, or coworker networks, but they are new. Doesn't feel like you know them. They are from another country, or first time, fresh face is what I see here. We have very strong energy here with Queen of Wands. Fiery, maybe a little bit bossy, really passionate, playful, really fun to be around, actually. The only piece here is that decisive and somewhat bossy energy. Like, she knows what she wants, or he knows what he wants, because we don't necessarily read gender with this. But whatever that sort of is, as long as you're open to that and you can meet it on the level. And this is where, if both of you are really, really strong, it could be challenging or could lead to a disagreement. Past life karmic energy coming through, absolutely, with the Six of Cups. And someone who's serious. I feel like, however it starts off, this patience piece is saying, don't worry so much about if they're in it for the long haul, because it does feel like they are. Just take it one step at a time, okay? If you're single and happy, good for you. Focus on your healing, reconnect with children in your life, especially, or with parents. Like, there's something about the familial energy that keeps coming back time and again. There's a great sort of call to explore the world. So if you have the means and resources to travel, now is the time to do so. And some of you are just enjoying your space. The Six of Swords is a distance card, and you're like, I've had a lot of stuff in the past. I'm happily single for a reason. Here's the thing, though. The door is knocking. The text sound is kind of coming through because there are so many people around you that are drawn to you. So some of you just want to hermit a little bit. I would say answer the calls, deal with the stuff, and then take the trip. Just make sure that you're not leaving people hanging. That'd be the only thing. Okay, let's move on to your destiny card. We have unconditional love coming through, the Divine Mother. Thank you, Divine Mother, for helping me to give and receive the love that I deserve. So again, energy, particularly around maternal healing here. So whether the mother figure in your life is alive or in spirit, or you're estranged, you can still do the healing. This is also you taking care of yourself. Any of the Queen cards can do that. This is a good card for self-organization and management. And so maybe some of you are just finally getting together all the things in your life that you need to feel organized, supported, and on track. But definitely there is a chance this month for that deeper spiritual healing to come through as well. And so take care of yourself, please. Let's go ahead now and move to sun, rising, and moon sign messages so we can get a deeper understanding for each of those facets. Sun, rising, and moon. All right, we've got a lot of court cards, so a lot of new people potentially coming through. Sun sign, King of Cups. So this is you, and this can also be who you're bringing in. King of Cups, sensitive, creative, passionate, definitely tuned in spiritually. We see him rising above a challenging situation. We have also in this card the starfish, which represents being able to reclaim things that have been lost, because depending on where a sea star might lose one of its legs, it can grow it back. So there is a chance to bounce back. We also got that here with the Queen of Wands. In a relationship, if these two cards are together, they're actually pretty compatible. She's very decisive. He's very open and kind of like easygoing compared to that. So I actually see two energies that could bring a lot to each other. There could be a Pisces coming into your life. This is also a chance for you to just explore your creativity. There's nothing not to love about the King of Cups. In friendship, in work, in life in general, he embodies both the best of divine masculine, but also the most sensitive side that we don't normally see. So if you're feeling that sense of sensitivity and empowerment, go for it. And if you meet someone that's like that and you're open, we have so many cards of love that this one is saying that's a great match. Okay, let's move on from sun to rising. We have the Knight of Wands, and it's reversed. March to the beat of your own drum and create your own rhythm and your own sort of path. We have a Mustang in the background. We have the Four Wands, which invite in love. And the thing that's inviting in love is passion and sort of her singular beat that she's creating on that drum, her own sort of metronome. So this is your chance to just basically do what you need to do and do what's authentic to you. Knight of Wands in reverse is also reassessing how they think about something. And as I said earlier, you have the right and the faculty to always change your mind. Knights slow down when reversed and ask themselves, in this case, how does it feel to me? And do I still agree with this? And what am I going to do action-wise? Because Knights show up and they show how to make it happen. How am I going to demonstrate this in my life? So she's getting strategic, and she's also checking in to make sure that this works for her. So before saying yes, rather than just tuning into what the other person wants or what's expected, think to yourself, does it align with my path? Is this the direction in which I anticipated and desire to go as well? And if not, what do I do to set this right? Okay? A Knight of Wands also thinks outside of the box and can come through any situation really, really sharp and ready and prepared. Okay. Moon sign. People are really listening, possibly even scrutinizing your communication, listening to your communication, I should say. The King of Swords does not say the same thing to everybody, at least not as illustrated on this card. We have like a bat, we have a dragonfly, we have an owl and a hawk or a crow in the top here, different types of birds coming through, showing all the different channels. So to each person, make sure that you're tailoring your message to that audience. Never underestimate the ability for your words to be heard, for your voice to make a difference. If there's something you want to change, roll up your sleeves and change it. If there's something that needs to be said, say it. If you want to make a change, vote, speak up. You have the ability to make it happen. A great card for also writing or just being a boss. This is one of the ultimate boss cards as well. Okay, so great energy here. I like that he's at the top of the mountain. So take time to really see how far you've come and what you want to do next. And he's the king, literally, of speaking something into existence. Now let's take a look at your final question. This can be anything that I've yet to answer. Go ahead and put that out there to the universe, and let's see what Spirit has to say. Three of Wands. It's good, folks. This is a card where things are happening in real time. Traditionally, you would see a person atop a cliff and ships coming in. In this card, they're all of it all together. So the ship is the surfboard, and the surfer is both the person that is wishing and also the wish coming through. You embody it all. You don't have to wait for something. Do it now. Do it today. If you're looking for something to happen, it's also saying it's already out there. It's just about making sure that you are looking in the right places. One of the things that you can do this particular month is travel and explore, or bring in an expert from afar and just say, hey, what am I missing? Because there could be something, as we saw with this unseen card, that makes it easier for you to connect to something, and someone else may have that insight before you do. But ultimately, this is a yes to a yes/no. It's also a card of travel. So you've got multiple travel cards this month. It's also an immediate card when you're asking how soon? Now. There was a Smith song called How Soon Is Now? It's now. But it's just basically about you looking in the right direction and being open to receive. That's everything for this month. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor. Please like and subscribe. Leave a comment as well. It helps me understand what you like, and I also read each and every comment, so thank you in advance. You can also follow me across social media. It's my full name on all major platforms. Remember, I do not offer any private readings, nor do I use direct messages, so please block and report anyone that does. If you would like to show support, you can do it right here on YouTube through a super sticker, super chat, or a membership. All of these actually help me create new content, including my podcast, which will be launching shortly. So keep an eye out. You can also go to my website for more information. And that's everything, folks. I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much for being the best part of what I do here on YouTube. Without your love, support, and presence, I wouldn't be here. Take care of yourself. Wishing you the best always. I'll see you soon.